Sometimes it's good to just dance.
Welcome to the Good Stuff Family Podcast. I'm Dawn Kendrick, and I am so glad you're here. These are stories from the perspective of a news reporter on a next level assignment. Everyone has a story. Stories of hope, resilience, and how we believe God weaves people, relationships, opportunities, all of it for good. For many of us, faith leads our steps, others not so much. But that is what makes this growing Good Stuff family great. We know the journey is better together. Welcome to the family.
Got a suggestion. Sometimes it's good to just dance. Come along.
Good morning, September 6th. I'm Dawn Kendrick, and here we are again for the best part of waking up, we believe, is waking up, in which we gather around the virtual gratitude table to talk about stories that inspired us this week and people who we've met and to kind of look ahead too at some of these things that are coming up and stories that we'll be doing here. So thanks for joining us. I hope that if you're able, you would hit subscribe, share, anything to help us as we grow this Good Stuff family tree. And comment too. That's how we have a conversation with you all this morning, is if you want to comment in on the things that we talk about this morning. We have a lot actually on the gratitude table, if you will, this morning. And joining me as always, my good friend Rich Smith. Hi, Rich.
Good morning, Don. Good morning, Good Stuff family. That's right. It's 2 feet on the floor, coffee in hand. It's time to be grateful.
Amen. I have that sign. If I could run in and get it, I would take a quick picture, but I have it right by the coffee, right by the Keurig. Something about big girl panties pulled up, smile on my face, coffee in hand, and ready to take on the day. So yeah, I second that. So I'm going to lead right out. I see our friend Sam is here too. She's going to join us when we talk a little bit later about the happiest country apparently in the world and how we know it to be true. But yeah, so how about when this is something to be grateful for? You ready? I'm about to pop this up. I had just filled up my gas and I filled up my car with gas, and I look up at the sign. How much does that say for unleaded, Rich?
$8.88.
And I thought, I'm sorry. I look back at the pump and I'm like, please tell me I didn't just fill up for $8.88 a gallon. And yeah, let's just take a closer look. But if you notice, diesel is also that, and it turns out from the gratitude files that was just an error on their sign, and they were having the electrician guy come in to fix it. But I thought, all right, that's something to be grateful for. We're not paying $8.88 a gallon.
Absolutely. I was like, I don't know why you'd celebrate that. That's awful, but yeah.
All right. Well, I'm celebrating, the fact that it's not. And just gratitude. This morning the power went out for 2 seconds here. Just one of those blips where you're online and because the light went off, and then you're not online while you're working, to reset it. But it made me think for a second, like, oh, you have to go reset all the clocks. The first thing is, dang, no. Thank God. I know that you just went through those huge power outages in Ohio, but if ever you learn to be grateful for flipping on a light switch and having electricity, it's when you don't have it.
Right. And you don't realize how much electricity plays into your life until it's not there.
Exactly. Right. Okay. So I'm putting that right out there on the gratitude table today, and let us know in the comments anything you're grateful for. We would love to hear it. And so I want to start though this morning with, I posted this picture earlier in the week because it was the 10-year anniversary. Hey, again, if you're listening in podcast mode, you can find us on YouTube to see all the visuals that we're using here, the Good Stuff family with Dawn Kendrick. But so here's this picture of me skydiving 10 years ago, jumped out of a perfectly good plane. And we got a lot of reaction for it, including an introduction to my new friend. Look at, how old do you think she is right there?
I couldn't even begin to guess. She looks like a young soul, though.
It's 85-year-old Kim Emmons, it's Emmons Knor. Kim Emmons Knor, 85 years old. She's on her way to 1,000 jumps, Rich.
Wow.
1,000 jumps. She's in the Hall of Fame. She's going to be doing, I don't know what you're doing this weekend, but she's going to be jumping out of a plane twice each day. 4 times in the next 2 days. She'll be jumping out of a plane as she works her way to 1,000 jumps.
Wow. God bless her. Now, I'll actually be on a planning retreat this weekend with our friend Dr. Lynette.
Oh, yeah. I love her so much. She texted the other day that she got her birthday card. She just saw it. It was in a pile of mail. I'm like, all righty, maybe you needed it then. So, but look at this. That I said I would never do it again after I did it twice. But look at the picture of her. The face that your face like flaps in the wind, and she's doing it 1,000 times. She's going to do it 1,000 times. I have and all of these jump places are calling to have her out. They all want to be part of this story of just resilience, and she's a life lover, or a spitfire is the word that her friend in Ohio who jumps with her, Sherry, called her a spitfire. So I wanted to just put that out there for anyone listening. You know what? I don't know what you have on tap this weekend, but hopefully it lights your heart on fire the way it does jumping out of a plane does for Kim. And yeah,
It's amazing. I'm trying to look it up now to see how many times he did it. But if you remember, George Bush Sr. for his 90th birthday jumped out of a plane to celebrate. But it was like a yearly thing for him that he would jump from a plane. It's so crazy to me.
I did it twice. I said I'd never do it again. Also this week, very exciting for me, a first time, was my first city soccer game, which was, I'm still smiling. I'm so proud of St. Louis. And this is what you see when we very first walked in. This is the energy. So that group, here, let me take that skydive picture down. That group that you just saw, the entire game, Rich, in the section that they sit on the far end of the field, they don't sit. I was told that their seats are nailed up, whatever. They don't open. The seats don't open.
Wow.
And they're constantly in the sun, nonstop, waving flags, playing beating the drums and chanting. And so this is what they offer there. I mean, it was electric. STL, they're shouting.
Wow.
And I was trying to give a kind of a roundabout picture of how many people were there, and I realized that was terrible videography. It makes you want to be a little nauseous, but it was so fun and so cool. And I said, this is totally going in my gratitude file. St. Louis, I do love the STL. And that energy is just such a jewel in the crown of Cleveland. So 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up to that.
Yeah, you gotta love it when a city gets behind itself, and that's in that moment you just feel connected to all those people.
And it's a new stadium. I mean, the whole, there's a book written about it actually that I just saw online about the effort that it took to make it all possible. And I grew up in Florissant, North County, so I know, like I said, soccer was a fat part of the fabric of our lives, more than cotton even, is what I said. We all played soccer, and it's what draws us together even now. In fact, later today, I'm going to be at 5:00 tonight. I'm going to be on my friend Mark Reardon's show today at 5 p.m. Central Time, 97.1, because of this reunion that we're doing in North County to bring people back to their roots here in St. Louis. a lot of it revolves around soccer, and we're going to have an old timer soccer game, which is going to be epic. These are the shirts that we ordered, and it's big because it's not just about a soccer game. It's about roots, roots. And then I go to that game and see how much soccer is currently still such a fabric of this city, and it still is in North County. So that's cool. That's also in my gratitude file today. And I want to keep an eye on the time and be respectful here, but here's the meditation. I want to make sure we get to this. Okay, this was the September 3rd meditation that our friend Bob Hostetler sends out every single day. We get it in our text. It's his ministry, basically. But I want to share it with you guys because we have, Sam and I have a good take on what they found in here. So let's bring Sam in if we can. Rich. Okay. Hi, Sam.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, okay. So hang on. I just want you to hear this little meditation because you and I met our new Finnish friends in Fairport Harbor. Okay. It says, the verse is John 15:11. These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may remain in you. Joy is a key word, and that your joy may be full. In March 2022, CNN reported on the findings of the World Happiness Report, a United Nations publication. The report ranked 150 nations in the world in terms of happiness. For the 5th time, Finland was rated the happiest nation. Also instructive would be a survey of the most joyful nations, distinguishing joy from happiness. How about this concept, Rich? We talked about it. Joy from happiness. In general, happiness is deemed to be based on circumstances, but joy goes deeper. It's a sense of peace and contentment in spite of circumstances. Hello? Who can relate to that? The Bible acknowledges both happiness and joy, but focuses on the latter when it comes to persevering during hard times. When writing from prison in Rome, Paul stressed contentment or joy in spite of his circumstances. He had learned to be content. That's the quote from Philippians 4:11, suggesting it was a secret and realizing I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, which of course is verse 13. Christ wants us to be full of joy, to be content in all things, and make sure that his joy is abiding in you today. So when I read that, I'm like, Finland. Let me remove this. So let's see. Can we see Sam up there, Rich? She always joins us live because she's brave enough to have her camera on. Good morning, sunshine. So this probably doesn't surprise you or I at all because in Fairport Harbor, we stopped by the Finnish Heritage Museum and met some of the nicest people, didn't we?
We did. And I have to say, it was just a moment of coincidence that we were in Fairport Harbor. Here was this museum. It was open. We walked in. They were having coffee and donuts. They were so welcoming. And it felt right. And so much has come from it, which I think is amazing. Yes.
Remember her?
Yes.
Her name is Hello. And I said, I can't wait to have her on the show so I can say, hello. So right. I talk to her, I do. I don't just say hello. I say, hello.
And they all had such amazing stories and everyone was so willing to share their joy with us.
Yes. I'm going to show you. Here's a clip. Let's just set up Rob. Okay, let me move this off really quick. So that's hello. But Rob Hilston was like this encyclopedia on all things about Finland. So if you were wondering, how did the Finns end up coming to Cleveland? We thought this was fascinating.
Yes, a lot of the Finns that had immigrated to the United States settled in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, or they settled in Minnesota. But there were some Finns from the western part of Finland that settled in Northeast Ohio, primarily Lake County and Ashtabula County.
For the railroad jobs?
And it was to work on the railroads at the time. There were jobs available, so they went back and recruited family members to come and be able to try to prosper in the United States, as a lot of immigrants were doing in the United States in the late 1800s.
And then what turns out, hello, introduced us to this phrase. Do you remember what it is? C2. That's a Finnish phrase that I want all of us to remember and take with us because, or sisu, here, I'm going to pull this this graphic up. It's sisu. Here it is. Okay, what does it mean? What does sisu mean, you ask, when she says sisu? Strength of will, determination, perseverance, acting rationally in the face of adversity. And if you want to talk about adversity, our new friend, both of her daughters have died. She's a widow, and she just in the last month lost her only brother who lives in Finland. She's got a lot. She got a lot on her plate. And when she describes sisu to us, here she is. And this is why we love her so much.
Guts, determination, never give up.
Sisu.
Sisu.
Sam, this is why we love her.
Yes. Whoa, yes, 100%. Her strength and her perseverance, her personality, and just that never give up attitude that she had was so inspiring. All that she's been through and all that she's seen, it really puts things in perspective for you.
Yeah, and you're a history teacher.
Yes.
And even I was fascinated when they explained, so Finland is small, but let's just share this as we're celebrating happiness and joy and resilience. Let's just share. You could learn this right in Fairport Harbor, y'all, at the Finnish Heritage Museum. Here we go. Listen to this. I thought this was interesting. So the Russians underestimated the Finns, and you've all heard of Molotov cocktails. Here you go.
Finland has been a relatively peaceful country for most of its existence, but in 1939, Finland shares an 800-mile border with Russia. In 1939, the Russian army, under the direction of their commander Molotov, had attacked Finland. They were concerned about the proximity of Finland's border to one of the major cities of Leningrad, current-day St. Petersburg. And Finland was completely outnumbered, not only in the number of troops that Russia had, but also in the tanks, and they had to try to figure out a way to disable it. So as kind of a nod to Molotov, they had taken what was primarily would have been vodka bottles or bottles and filled them with flammable material and used that to partially disable the tank.
So that's another little nugget I hope y'all can take with you. People may underestimate you. Don't let them count you out. If you take a lesson from the happiest country, they were strong in ways that they were underestimated for. And here's why they also may be one of the happiest countries that all of us on this morning show can relate to.
So there's a few things. Finland also is the highest per capita coffee consumption.
No kidding.
So
no wonder I felt drawn here.
It's a little over 12 kilos per person, which would be about 26 pounds. So a family of four would go through about 4 10-ounce bags of coffee per week in Finland. It's about 2.5 times what Americans tend to drink for coffee.
Did you know that, Rich?
It's not a surprise to me. My grandmother always had coffee going. And her mother was first generation to our country, and they lived in Ashtabula, the Conneaut area, out in that way. So yeah, I didn't know about the Heritage Museum though. I'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah, it's great, right, Sam? It's right in, I mean, you're a history teacher, so you were in heaven for sure. But even I was amazed. It's right there in the heart of Fairport Harbor.
Right in Fairport Harbor. There's so much around it. The lighthouse is right there, and they are all connected, and it's such a strong sense of community. It's really amazing.
It really is. And I just want to take Helu home. Hello. I just did. And I told her we're going to be friends. And I thought she was probably thinking, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have given you my number. Whenever I was hugging on her. And let's see. This is another reason why I love her. She showed us the flag. Remember the flag? And she had the earrings that matched. Watch this.
That's so fun. I can't believe it.
Hello. You're speaking my language. And even the earrings, you said. What is this now? This is the
Finnish flag.
the Finnish flag.
Yes.
And let's turn to our resident Rain Man of all things Finn to explain why they put the cross on there.
Well, to designate them as a Christian country. At that time, Denmark was really the first country to have their own flag. So the other Norwegian countries adopted a similar, different than countries like Estonia, which at the time would have been considered pagan countries. This would have been hundreds of years ago.
There you go. Amen.
Yes.
And there you go. The Finnish flag with a cross on it. Did you know, Rich?
I knew that that's why they put the cross on there, that they wanted to denote themselves as a Christian nation. But I didn't realize it was one of the first countries to
They
have
started a trend.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Imagine that. I come from trend centers.
Sam, I know that you probably have to still work, don't you? So do you have, I want to make sure we don't keep you hanging in here forever, but just your take again on seeing hello. And Rob was so nice. Come in, have some coffee, have some donuts. Yeah. What your take to wrap up this segment?
I think the assimilation of the Finnish culture and the American culture, I think it stands forth as to something we can strive for. Like, as Americans, we are always looking, to continue to do better. And the Finnish people, they've aspired to that with this whole idea of just being in the moment and having joy all the time. And
Amen.
boy, wouldn't that be?
Oh,
And we
awesome.
submit to you exhibit number 1. Hello.
Yeah.
She is joy.
And how lucky. Right.
Yeah.
We were so lucky to meet her. And I just think it was fate that we walked in that museum that morning. We were there and we met such wonderful, amazing people. Oh, there she is.
I love her.
Yes.
I love her. And, I asked her, how do you have such a joy? Did you say both of your daughters have passed and you're a widow and your brother just passed? And you know what she said? This is a quote. I wrote it down. Life goes on. God gave us this time, so we have to keep on going. Hello. Thank you. Thank you for being such an inspiration to us and for leading by example. We love her. Sam, thanks for joining us. I miss you. I'll see you in October.
Sounds good. See ya.
Okay.
Bye.
God bless you. Okay, as we wrap this up, I wanted to give you a window into one of the interviews that we did this week that you can find on the Good Stuff Family with Dawn Kendrick on YouTube or on Facebook. And this is a man, Mark Schmitz. Here he is with his son, Jared. And he started the freedom13.org in honor of not just his son, but all of these fallen servicemen and women from Abbey Gate, because the news headlines during the week on the anniversary, I don't like calling it anniversary, but it marked 3 years since they were all killed, suicide bombers in Afghanistan at Abbey Gate. So the news, we know a lot of nastiness fallout politically and stuff on that anniversary. But here's what we wanted to do on the Good Stuff Family. This guy in St. Louis, Mark Schmitz, is honoring every day each one of these who paid and made the ultimate sacrifice by they've raised enough money. They've bought land now on what they'll have are these main home where veterans can come. Look at this, how beautiful this is, Rich. And they'll have smaller ones as well, where veterans can come and just unwind, unplug, be with each other. All compliments of the freedom13.org is where you'll find more information. This is what it's going to look like here. The first one, they want to be in all 50 states, the first one here in Missouri. And it says it right there. It's a simple mission, remembering the heroes that made the ultimate sacrifice by supporting the veterans still with us. So I thought we would run a little clip from that interview that you can find on the Good Stuff Family with Dawn Kendrick. But I mean, again, Mark, 3 years now without Jared. There he is. And this was a part of the interview that we did. What does this say to your heart and soul right now in hindsight?
Well, I hope that's what heaven's like for him. Just absolute paradise. That was a family trip we got to take to the Bahamas prior to him going to Pendleton for training. So that was like a graduation gift, and he had such a blast there. We had so many great memories. Uh, we're a Catholic family, and we're very, very religious. Have a very deep faith and relationship with God, and we feel Him every day. I can't think of a single day that's gone by that I haven't felt His presence in one way or another. Um, so it saddens me that He's not physically here, but He's still with me all the time, and I know at some point I'll be reunited with Him, and that helps make you not fearful of death. So.
And because it is called the Freedom 13, let's just take the next few seconds to honor the names and the pictures, the faces of the 13 who paid the ultimate price, who you work so diligently now to have all of those camps and stuff in their name. So on the flip side, we're going to show some of the promos for the things coming up. But right now, we want to just be very reverent, and everybody listening and watching, just take a minute in your hearts and minds. Would take a minute to say their names and to honor them.
Navy Hospital Corpsman Maxton Soviak. Marine Corps Corporal Dagan Page. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz. Marine Corps Corporal Humberto Sanchez. Marine Corps Staff Sergeant Darren Hoover. Marine Corps Sergeant Nicole G. Marine Corps Sergeant Johanny Pichardo. Marine Corps Lance Corporal David Espinoza. Marine Corps Corporal Hunter Lopez. Army Staff Sergeant Ryan Knaus. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Kareem Nikui. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Dylan Marola. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Riley McCollum. It doesn't take much effort to learn a story, whether it's our 13 or someone in your neighborhood, someone you used to work with. Just about everybody out there knows somebody who served and made the ultimate sacrifice. And if you don't, I would highly recommend you take the time to learn and learn the stories of and meet other veterans that are still with us right now. I mean, a lot of them have great stories to share. And
so that's from a Gold Star dad who is leading by example in his grief and turning that grief into good stuff for veterans who are with us now. That's classic the good stuff. No, Rich?
Absolutely. It's so hard to hear some of the stories sometimes when they tell them, and sometimes they just don't want to tell the stories. They don't want to have to relive that pain, but they all come to realize at some point that it's that pain comes the joy of having served, having lived a life that was full to the point of protecting others.
Mm-hmm. The ultimate that's what we say. They were awarded the Congressional Honor Medal of Honor, but the family continues to pay the ultimate price in the loss. So we just honor them, and I was so grateful that we were able. It proves the point again to take any headline story, scratch the surface, and there's the good stuff. There it is. So thank you, Mark Schmitz. Thank you, all of these people who we profile on this page. Thank you, people who we even met just for a hot minute, like hello, and for Kim Emmons Knor, and for the people who are just joy. They're joy, and they're showing us and leading by example that this could be what we choose as well. Choose joy. That's it. And as always, we say, try your best. Would you try your best to head out today, see the good in others, be the good for them? On your mark, get set.
Let's go.
Sometimes it's good to just dance.
You've been listening to Don Kendrick's The Good Stuff Family Podcast. If you found inspiration here, would you click subscribe, follow, share as we grow our Good Stuff family tree? Check out thegoodstufffamily.com for links to all our social media platforms and for how you or your business could sponsor a story. The Good Stuff Family, reaching and touching hearts around the world by weaving families together one story at a time. On your mark, get set, let's go.
Well, I got a suggestion. Sometimes it's good to just dance. Come along,